The series House of the Dragon is an unsuccessful prequel to the mega project of Games of Thrones. The pathetic and pale performance are met with the terrible selection of actors of the first and second plan, direct and camera work, lacks of dynamics, no immersion in the world of the Westeros. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so as not to miss the new cool video. And so let's go. Good afternoon to all my respects. I will not hide my disappointment after watching the first episode of the TV series House of the Dragon in 2022. With such financial and resource capabilities and a successful script and wide selection of first-class actors. This is such a weak action to remove. There are just no words. And yeah, there isn't a need to say that against the background of the series. This project looks very worthy. We are talking about a series that had the best resources of planet Earth, and I have very high evolution criteria for it. As a result, I will not watch in the next series, which I'm no longer interested in. And I don't advise all intellectuals to do it. It's better to reread George Martin's book, Flames and Blood, again. Now but everything in order, so that you, my friends and enemies, strengthen and share my confidence in why the series House of the Dragon has become a pathetic parody of Game of Thrones. What is the main failure of this series for me? Terrible selection of actors of the first and second plan. No one, I repeat, none of them could emotionally reincarnate and become a president of Westeros. With all the pros and cons of the fictional world, its noble and insidious futures. The manager who conducted the casting apparently selected the actors according to the principle they successfully proved themselves at the auditions. And it was necessary, in my opinion, for all actors of the past to give roles to those who found it difficult to get out of the image even at the end of the audition. Naturally, the assistants had to monitor the actors for some time, perhaps record their behavior for several hours on video. Perhaps then we, the audience, would be able to see real emotions on the screen and not just relented and dry acting. A real actor can have a job, but it is only creativity and he creates. Separately, I want to focus on the acting of Matt Smith, who played Daemon Targaryen, the wishless prince, as many called him in Westeros. This is very complex personality, as great as a terrible, inhuman, and monstrous. He certainly had the great honor to influence all the events in the life of the Seven Kingdoms, and such a person should have been played by an outstanding actor with crazy charisma. As a result, Matt Smith became only a pale likeness of his ambitious and outstanding hero. The producers missed another important point, in my opinion, which will contribute to the future failure of the series House of the Dragon. For me, director Miguel Sapochnik is a recognized genius, and I am well acquainted with his work both in big movies, The Reapers in 2010, Finch in 2021, and on television. But the first season of the TV series House of the Dragon he clearly didn't master. Perhaps several factors influenced it at once. No complete freedom is choosing the main characters, fatigue, creative crisis. As a result, he couldn't squeeze 100% out of the product team, and he is very much interior to the Games of Thrones project. In my opinion, Sapochnik needed to completely abstract from this first successful series and pay more attention to the emotional component of all the main characters. But they couldn't set himself up for the best result, but just started working on the quality. As a result, the project lost the main thing, the lack of a sense of 100% realism. I also liked the dynamic that amazed and captured me in Games of Thrones. Even see developing very sluggishly and with less drama. On the one hand, all the characteristics stand of ones and creatively present in the House of the Dragon, but sometimes they are meaningless and cause a feeling of artificially. An experienced viewer doesn't forgive this. No matter how I turn it, I didn't manage to feel the magical feeling of immersion in the world of Westeros again. And the scope isn't the same, and the graphics are not the same, of the scale of the scenery is completely different. Maybe it was just necessary to resemble the previous team. Perhaps this result could be surpassed. Perhaps the main plus of this series is an excellent plot. I clearly caught the whole chain of events, which wasn't just well thought out, but also interestingly interpreted. For such a wonderful plot, I would also pick up charismatic actors. but nothing came of it. I also want to mention the good and high quality computer graphics. Especially impressive are the dragons, which look very realistic on the screen. Even habits and character trait were well embodied. But immersive and high quality dragons alone are not enough for a good series. I was also satisfied with the work of makeup artists and decorators. It turned out very realistic and impressive at the same time. With all due respect to the colossal work of the team of this series project, I will recommend that watching the TV series House of the Dragon. It's very much interior to Game of Thrones in almost all aspects. But I strongly recommend reading the book Flame and Blood. I'm sure you'll have a lot more fun. If you do decide to watch, I sincerely wish you only pleasant and memorable experiences, friends and enemies. If you were interested, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Well, write the top 3 of your favorite movies. Thank you for watching.